of New Zealand's first ever mixed reality hackathon through the eyes of Team Eden, produced by Andrew Hillstead. 48 hours of learning and creating. 4 teams. Heaps of food, heaps of workshops, heaps of quality mentors, and an opportunity to develop for the Microsoft Hololens for an entire weekend. 4:30 PM, Friday the 17th of March 2017, the first day of the hackathon kicked off with introductions and formalities. Shortly afterwards, we made our way over to Wellington's Museum of New Zealand's Te Papa. We heard and experienced virtual, mixed and augmented reality talks and demonstrations from Mike Jones, Lynette Walworth, Kat Lintott and Sutu, all of whom did an exceptional job of getting our creative juices flowing.
Can I just have a show of hands of other people that have questions?
With inspiration from these talks and demonstrations, teams began to form and ideas started to develop.
Hey, so my name's Revo.
Hi, I'm Jono.
Hey, I'm Jules.
Hi, I'm Jet.
Hey, I'm Jeff.
Hi, my name's Andrew Hillstead. And this is Team Eden.
Our proposal for our project was to make and grow a garden, for a place for people to relax, but this isn't a normal garden, it's made with the HoloLens, so it's virtual. I wanted to teach people how to tend to their plants that they create in this garden, so sort of creating a education on how to cultivate them. Our planning consisted of us sort of pre-vising it on a giant whiteboard to begin with, and then we kind of focused that down into a minimum viable product that we then began working on throughout the course of the weekend. From that minimum viable product, we then added some extra functionality if we got to that point to see, you know, how far we could kind of get it through the time period we had.
By pinching your fingers together and letting go, a seed will be created and then dropped down to the ground.
We would then have the option for the user to then cultivate their plant, so through sunlight or rain, you know, food and water for the plant. And we were going to initially do this by icons, but then we kind of realized, like, the HoloLens, you can sort of make 3D objects become the icons. It's a much more sort of interactive technology. So the user would then interact with this cloud to make it rain, to water the plant, or there'd be a sun and they'd interact with that to give the plant sunlight.
It will then grow a tree, and from that tree, over a little bit of time, the user can walk around, fruit will start to blossom, and it will first start off as flowers and then merge into fruit. And once the fruit's ripened, there'll be some sort of sounds to signify that, and the colours of the fruit might change and become more vibrant. And the user can then look at that fruit and tick it, click on it, and be able to eat the fruit, and in turn get a seed back which they can then replant and start the cycle over again and grow a digital garden.
Saturday the 18th of March, day 2 of the Mixed Reality Hackathon.
I've actually had very little background in the technical side of things. I'm very new to virtual reality, augmented reality, all that. But yeah, I find it quite fascinating just given how new this whole sector is. So just quite excited to learn this weekend about what it's all about. So within our project, I've kind of had the responsibility of overviewing the audio that we'll be inputting into our project. So I'll be using FL Studio and a whole lot of sample packs to try and create the sound effects that we're after.
I'm a augmented reality developer and augmented reality designer for Victoria University. I'm also studying my Masters in augmented reality and exhibition design.
I come from a web development design background, just here out of pure interest and fascination. So I'm just helping source some imagery, making sure that that's on target for what the team is actually trying to achieve.
I've been doing some conceptual stuff, content, research, user flow, UI a little bit, and in general helping everyone out.
I do VR development and research. In this project I'm going to be our lead developer / hooking Unity up with the HoloLens.
I'm studying a Masters of Design Innovation at Victoria University of Wellington. My role in the hackathon this weekend is documentation. I'm doing all of the video recording, all of the video editing. I'm helping out with a little bit of the scripting, a little bit of UX and UI as well.
And how about like the education kind of direction? Yeah.
A little bit of educational in the script writing, I guess.
You know, before anything happens, how does your garden grow? And we can walk them through that, and hopefully they'll understand those steps.
And how will the script kind of appear in the experience?
Ideally, probably narrated. Maybe at this point we'll just go with text based treatment. That kind of follows the bee along.
Do you think that we're like on the right track?
I think so. Yeah, we made some really good progress.
So this is the beginning of a tree. Been stuck on animating this tree model for the last 7 hours now. At first we took the scripting approach, but it proved to be much more difficult than we initially anticipated.
We tried a few different approaches in terms of trying to animate the tree, animate the scale, animate the leaves, that sort of thing. Ended up not being able to access those particular variables, so just decided to instead take like key moments of a tree going from like a seedling to a full-grown tree, and then just through code we're just going to loop through those sort of still screenshots of a tree and just play them sort of every 2 seconds, change the tree.
The wording will be...
So Andrew's become a bit of a tree expert within the team now.
It's a bit of a compromise, but hopefully it's better than nothing, so yeah. There was a few different aspects we came at this project with. Probably the two main ones were education and also like relaxation, creating an environment in which people who may not be able to plant gardens are able to actually plant gardens and feel the sort of relaxing, calming effect that gardens are meant to have. We still need to implement the watering and sunlight mechanics, which is where the user can click and water and give the plant sunlight. After that we need to have the user be able to pick the fruit and then eat the fruit, and then finally we need the user to be able to retrieve the seed and replant it again. If we don't get it all done, I think we've already got quite a cool proof of concept, which, you know, with a bit of tweaking tonight will be a lot more substantial. Just working with this is like a challenge in itself, so I think we've done pretty well in terms of getting to this point. My initial thoughts on this device, actually when I tried it about 2 or 3 months ago, was it was pretty bad in terms of its field of view is, you know, around about that, and I was a little bit disappointed. With that being said, I was trialing this in a room of around 80 people, so my time on the device was, you know, mere minutes, which doesn't really give you enough chance to play with it, see its strengths, also its weaknesses. But I think once I've had the chance here just to sort of sit back, relax for the beginning of it and like actually just play some apps on it, you start to realise that there is quite a lot of potential in this, and especially this being just Gen 1. I think we're going to see some cool developments come out. My favourite app is the Robo Rage, like robots like break through your wall and like try and start shooting you, and it's pretty cool because it's like I've never really seen the environment be mapped that well before.
Oh dude, you're in the way. Trying to blow up the scorpion. So what exactly are you doing over here, River?
Playing a game called Robo Raid or something.
And what can you see right now?
I can see all these robotic scorpions all over the walls, and is shooting at me, and there's holes in the walls, and I gotta shoot them and blow them up.
It's going to be pretty cool.
That's a retake.
The HoloLens, I think, is a really cool bit of technology, and I'd love to develop for it in the future. We're just chipping away at it this weekend, and then hopefully get more opportunities to work with it and technology like it in the future. It's a really great bit of tech. Tracking's nice, field of view is a bit small, but at the same time it's a dev kit, so what do you expect? That'll change once, in like 1 year, 2 years, once they come out with a new version. So the limitations are minute but workable at the moment. The dev kit, I think, is more than capable of showing us that AR is absolutely possible in the future.
Yeah.
Gonna get it all done by tomorrow afternoon?
No, well, we've pre-vised everything, we've mocked up everything, so we have a presentation to show people, so in terms of our idea, so at the very least, you know, we've done enough work on that. Well, and Jeff, it's all up to Jeff really, if he's good enough at coding. Yeah. Wow. I think he can do it. I think he can do it. He's a bloody good coder. But yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, look at this. We got our trees growing. That's the start. Do you want to see the trees?
Yeah,
Let's have a little look over here.
It's pretty minute, but every 3 seconds there's a new tree. Whoa!
Oh, what's happening?
Wait for it. Whoa! Shit! Out of nowhere.
Nowhere now. Good. Follow me over to the food desk. There's also chips, and this is cold pizza, which everyone loves. I love personally. Yeah.
What's this over here, Jeff?
It's banana bread.
Sunday the 19th of March, the third and final day of the Mixed Reality Hackathon.
You know, I came in here with pretty much zero knowledge around the development of AR or VR apps. I now have a basic understanding. I know the programs involved. I know kind of the workflow, the processes that kind of go into it, and you know the very basics of like the coding and the making of the assets. Overall, you know, I've learned heaps. Can I go and make one of these things myself? No, but I know where to start and I know where to look. I'd recommend it for anyone who's interested in even just kind of playing around with this kind of stuff. You know, this is a great opportunity. We've had heaps of those things here this weekend, so everyone's had a decent go. And if you're kind of new to the area but also want to actually start developing, you know, it's also possibly the best place to start, really.
Well, I learned whole heaps of, you know, it opens up a whole new area, I guess. I mean, yeah, I mean, got a great group of people to work with. It's great collaborations and really excited about the product that we built. Yeah. Initially, when I come into this hackathon, I was like trying to learn really kind of technical skill on using a piece of software, but I think what I got out of it is like the whole development process rather than just learning specific technical knowledge of a software. I think that's more valuable than that. So being able to know like what's involved into MR development has been great. Yeah. So I've done a bit of scripting, which I don't normally do. Writing some content, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's great.
Final moments here with Jeff. Last 5 minutes before the final build. What have you got to say, Jeff?
Fantastic. Tap again to plan a new seat. It's been really fun. I'm at the point now where I'm starting to really lose concentration on what we've been doing, which is good because it means I've timed myself almost perfectly. But I'm hoping this is going to be the final build, and then Jono's going to do a screen cap for us so that people can actually see it visualized, and it's going to help with people understanding the interactions in our app as well. Yeah, but overall I found the experience really good, really worthwhile. It was really fun to do. I think it was a great introduction in how to use the HoloLens. I would never have understood half the stuff we got taught because we had such good people who have really experienced with using it. So yeah, all around was an awesome time. I'm going to make sure that this has actually worked. And then you'll probably be able to hear actually, this is where the sound comes out of. We're using spatialized sound. So because of the way the HoloLens works, it actually doesn't put an earbud in your ear, it just is a sound wall. So you can still hear other sounds coming in, which is really cool because you get this combination of real world with augmented sound over the top.
After 48 hours of developing for the HoloLens, we finally had a minimum viable prototype which we were all super excited about. Winning the first New Zealand Mixed Reality Hackathon really was the cherry on the top of an awesome weekend of learning, creating and networking.
For our sound we used a mixture of natural and generated and also a bit of voiceover. It really is used to give the application presence and a bit of 3D-ness, so to speak. So we actually have the rain coming from the rain clouds. Our voiceover comes from our little bee guide. So a bee guide actually flies around the user and then offers helpful hints and guides the user through the experience. It's really good for prompting sort of interactions and things like that. We actually voiced over the bee ourselves. So Andrew is the voice of the bee. He really did a good job of trying to explain the basic functionalities of our app to the user.
Find a spot, then tap to drop a seed. Awesome. Your plant needs some water. Tap the cloud to make it rain.
Our future aspirations are to, of course, have more varieties of plants and seeds that the user can plant. We also were thinking about adding different cultivation techniques so that the user could learn the different variations of this and explore which one works for what plants and things like that. We were also thinking that animals could be attracted by these plants, so there'd be a little bit more interactivity with the user and the virtual objects, and then you could even use these interactions to create an ecology that sort of is self-sustaining. So more bees create more pollen that then produce the fruits and things like that. We also were considering adding different biomes, so Arctic, desert plants, all different, so you could have a variety of different biomes scattered around your room. So you could walk into from the desert to the Arctic or something like that over the course of a few meters. As for other functions, my personal favorite is a sort of flamethrower that's activated by the user to then destroy their plants. Also the ability to control, micromanage the cultivation techniques, so only giving a plant a little bit of water or a lot of sun or something like that, so they could really see how much of these things that plants need. And you could eventually have your plants wither through too much sun or vice versa, grow because you know how to actually treat them. As far as our business plan, it's a really good education and teaching tool because of its interactability. It could be used mainly in schools or offices or even in your own home. And what really sets it apart is the amount of time we can manipulate within the app, and also the variety that we have to offer. We could offer the user through various seeds and different plants. No two gardens would look the same really, through the user's creation. And we actually have a website that we produced also during the course of the weekend that has a bit of our documentation on it, and throughout the next wee while will be updated to sort of show the final product.
Hello there. Let's look around your surroundings. Follow me. Nice one. Ready to grow a peach tree? Find a spot, then tap to drop a seed. Awesome. Your plant needs some water. Tap the cloud to make it rain. Awesome work. Tap again to plant more trees.
A huge thanks to Aladdin Nassini and Tham Pumsombun for their devoted mentorship. Thanks to Mark Billinghurst for his supervision and judging. Thanks to the other two judges, Ben Crete and Miriam Ross. Thanks to the technical advisors and organisers, Jessica Manis, Lee Allen Werisa, Amy Whitcroft, and everybody else who helped make this event happen. Also, a big thanks to the sponsors, Internet New Zealand, Wellington City Council, Projector, HitLab New Zealand, Unity, Tech Leap, Assurity, and Datacom.